Alright. Hello everybody, it is Deanspillabean back on your screen with another State of Dean. November? Whatever, this is going to be like my next, basically, journal entry for what I'm going to be doing. So, it's technically been a bit since the last State of Dean, the last one being the video where I talk an hour about my life. That was extensive. This one's not going to be anything like that, maybe, possibly, probably. I'll find out in an hour or two. Yeah. Right, so, let's see. So, State of Dean is more or less, I guess it's turned more into a journal entry series where I just kind of open up my journal, talk in it for a little bit, and then post that on YouTube and look back on that in a year or so, or have other people look at it. Some variation like that. More or less going over what I've been doing with my life, things I've changed over time, trying to document all of that too. That's the goal with this series. Originally I thought about like doing this every once a year at this point, just like, hey, end of the year, time to go over everything that I've done and said over the many years. But I feel like trying to get one done right now. So, where we last left off, some random Dean guy that doesn't look like me, tried his damnedest to figure out what in the world to do in the foreseeable future. All of his plans have failed utterly. Other channels didn't go anywhere, mostly because the excitement to do them has failed completely. Dedicating time to make videos on a bunch of different games have also failed completely, seeing as that those take a lot of time to actually do. As well as a little want and desire that I desperately wanted, that I even gave up a lot of stuff to actually pursue, has also failed, and that's referring to making an animation on like the rest of the Hawaii Part 2 songs. Which, if you're new, is basically, about a year ago, back in late October, I made an animation that was based off of the Mind Electric song from the Miracle Musical guys. And I think I did a pretty good job with the animation itself, and I wanted to try to make something different. Well, things have changed quite notably going into the rest of the year, which has kind of changed my schedule up a bit, as well as what I feel like doing. I still really want to do something for December 12th, because that's like a super anniversary for the Miracle Musical's Hawaii Part 2 album. I want to do something for that. I think at the very least I might do an overanalyzation of the Mind Electric or something. I wanted to do that at some point, and I just haven't gotten around to it, because I've been busy streaming. Whoa, I did not think I would actually be streaming at all this year. Yet here I am, as a streamer, as well as developing this fairly sophisticated PNG avatar to actually make it a little bit nicer. That, inadvertently, this avatar has actually made it significantly easier to make these State of Deans, because one of the issues was actually getting all of my faces connected, and I don't know why I didn't use this kind of a program before. Oh well, I got it now, and now it's pretty good. I've just saved myself 2 weeks of doing it. You can't get this level of detail and animation syncing up with my voice normally. Nope. So anyways, something I'd like to talk about. I probably have mentioned it a couple times during some of my streams as a thing that I'm thinking about doing. I'm going to be talking about my State of Dean or something. I don't know. Every time that I mentioned some of the stuff, it's been very scattered, but here's a very focused area. So, around the time that I was making my last State of Dean video, the one where I talk about my life for an hour, I was going through some stuff, fairly stuff. So, I lost my job around that time. Kind of weird for me to just kind of mention that, but it kind of makes more sense when I talk about it in a bit. Basically, I ended up quitting one of the jobs that I've been working at for 3 years over, I guess, kind of disputes on the higher-ups not really doing much to make the job easier, but also not willing to put in the finances to actually make it possible, so they're just unwilling to make things work. It's complicated. It kind of boiled down to them not getting the staff that we needed, and also having a fairly fairly difficult job to actually do alone, and then they just don't, like, staff it very well. There was staff there. There was, like, other people there besides me. It's more like that it was very sparse in terms of when that help was actually going to come. Eventually, the pressure kind of got to me as, like, one of their only, like, really good employees, where I was kind of asked to do a lot of very specific stuff and get things done in a very specific way, only to then have my boss come in and say, that's not the right way to do it, you gotta do it this way specifically, otherwise things don't get done. And then I'm over here like, I've been working on this thing forever, and now you... Hey... It was kind of like... It was difficult for me to work in that environment anymore. The environment of that job has changed so much over time that I didn't even think about it, and I originally wanted to work there not just for money, but just to, like, make sure that everything was working really nice, because it was a good place that I wanted to help, because I, like, grew up going there every now and again, just for, like, specific activities, and I kind of wanted to help it out a bit. That was the idea. Things have changed a little bit. Blah blah, yada yada. It was a lot of corporate mishaps and financial failures, in my opinion. But here we are. However, around the time when I actually quit my job, or like before that a bit, I was going through a bit of what many would say a bit of a depressive state, mostly because I was questioning myself how I get stuff done specifically. And that's actually been difficult to actually describe too well. It got so bad that I just had to, like, spend a couple weeks getting over it, which was a lot more difficult than I thought it would be. There was a lot of self-doubt problems. I'm going to put it like that, self-doubt problems. That made it very difficult for me to get back to working on videos. Actually, one of the main reasons I didn't want to work there anymore is specifically because the pressure was getting me so much that I was questioning my work ethics to such an extent that it followed me into my house and into my video making work, and it just made it more difficult to make videos because I was always thinking about how it could be done better or faster, kind of to a very toxic sentiment. So I eventually left that job, and I'm fine right now. I don't really need financial help at the... Oh, yeah, I almost forgot. I have a Ko-Fi now. You can donate there if you want. Oh, that's a thing. Okay, massive sec... Okay. Okay, I'll talk about the donations page in a little bit. So, all that being said, to kind of get me out of that depressive state, geez, that took like a couple weeks, but eventually I ended up finishing up that State of Dean video, and that was like on the tail end of my depressive state, and I think I got that out of the way enough. I've moved on past that time quite a bit. I won't forget it though, but I feel like I moved on. I won't forget it, but I feel like I moved on at least. There was a number of thoughts that was going through my head there. One of which I actually want to make into like a little Minecraft movie at some point. It was an idea that I had when I was walking through some woods, where I guess I was just going through a weird circular cycle of just thinking to myself over and over again, trying to figure out what the heck I want to do with my life, and I guess trying to find some kind of meaning in an area or like a time of my life that ended up not having that meaning. And I guess like a weird voice in my head, not really like an actual disembodied voice, it was just myself, like my inner self telling me this. You cannot leave unless you find an answer to life, or something like that. And eventually I just kind of kept going in circles around the forest that I was in. And weirdly, okay, eventually I came up with one answer where I know what I'm gonna do with my life. I'm gonna make stories. I'm gonna make them, put them on YouTube or something like that, talk about stories and remember them. That's what I've been doing for a while. I've met so many people, so many stories to recall, so many to tell. That is my answer, my meaning in life. Telling stories. Finding them, figuring them out, or something like that. Something to that equivalent. I need to figure that out more. Making other people's story come to life? That's another one. Alright, there's my answer. I can leave now, right? Wrong. What? What do you mean wrong? You can't leave yet. That's not the answer. What are you talking about? And basically this weird circular logic kept coming up where it couldn't leave, because that's not the answer, whatever that means. Eventually I decided, I don't care. I'm gonna leave this. I'm gonna leave the forest. You can't stop me. And then I left. I never felt the same afterwards. I don't know how to really put that into words. But I just left that. Yeah, not really sure what to think about that. Anyways, I want to make that into like a Minecraft machinima movie at some point. I want to do that someday, where I just like boot up Minecraft, make a world to make a movie in it. I want to start doing that. I don't have the time to do that, and I kind of fear I won't be able to do that until like probably next year or somewhere middle, late, I don't know. I still need to actually get a second job. All of this time that I've been spending doing streams, making this avatar, actually figuring out, it's all been trying to figure out what I actually want to do with my life going forward. I've given myself a year. I have enough money saved up that I can afford to not do anything for a year job-wise, but I need to do something with it. And I think I've figured out enough, and I'm going to actually go get a job or something to get money. Alternatively, mega segue, I know, I have a Ko-Fi page now. Donations are available. I believe there's like a link in the description somewhere down there if you feel like donating at all. Minimum is about $3. Funny. Okay, super funny thing. Okay, so I got the whole system set up. I got the Ko-Fi ready, and I got all of that. Also, I don't have any plans for actual rewards as of yet. It's just a donations page for the time being. I might add to it later, depending on how many people like look into it. I also need to kind of think about adding some stuff in, maybe. Anyways, it's a funny thing. When I started out, you can actually set like a goal thing, and I thought that was kind of cool. Ah, yes, I can't wait to set a goal. I can't wait to see the goal be reached. My first goal was to achieve financial stability by reaching $1. And it was reached by one user known by I'm so hungry I could eat a horse, or Hungry Horse. That's the main one. He donated $1 to me. Thank you very much, Hungry Horse. However, I realized a little problem with my joking manner, in that Ko-Fi, so Ko-Fi only takes like a 5% cut of any transaction that's made on the site, and that at least keeps it running, which I'm kind of okay with. What I didn't know about was, in order for me to get the money, I had to send it through PayPal, which PayPal ended up having like a static 50-cent transaction fee. So even though I was donated $1, I only got like 50 cents out of it. And then even then I didn't get all of it because there was like a couple other fees or something. So I only ever got like 40 cents out of that. So I lost a lot of money in that transaction. But to kind of fix that in the future, $3 minimum. So I can at least get like something out of the transaction. There was ideas that I had in order to get like a YouTube partner program up and running and then accept donations through YouTube, which I'm still probably going to get that up and running. I'm just not comfortable with it very much because YouTube takes about 30% of it, which is reasonable, I think, because, I mean, YouTube is the super mega platform as it is. It needs as much money as it does. It's reasonable for it to be a 30% cut. What I don't like is that the only way for me to get that money is to wait a full month after the donation was made, and then I kind of get like all of the donated money, ad revenue in that singular, or like on a specific day, 1 month from after the money was acquired. And on top of that, I need to reach $100 for me to get any money anyway. So yeah, I'm gonna probably have this Ko-Fi thing for now. If I start getting like really, really big and like a lot of people really want to donate to me, then I will probably get YouTube Partner Program up and running in the first place. I might get that running whenever I reach the 1,000 subs milestone, because then I can get access to ad revenue. Then I don't have to worry too much about donations. I can actually get like ad revenue from specific stuff. But then I have to fight against making sure all my videos are monetized, which is a little difficult seeing as that I have a lot of music that... Weirdly enough, specifically the Deltarune music has, like, problems with if it's monetizable or not, because, like, weird copyright issues that are still being settled. Okay, small tangent rant. Toby says the Deltarune Undertale music is perfectly fine to be used in any metric, but of course we need to make sure that everyone gets the money. Is that what Toby said? I don't know if it's specifically, but I know Tobyfox, the creators of those songs, was perfectly fine with us using the songs however we want. Apparently, the people making the remix didn't get the memo that they should have them as a distinction between the original song, because every time that I'm using some of these Undertale Deltarune songs, I'm not getting flagged for using the original, I'm getting flagged for using a copy of one of the remixes. This is a little aggravating. And I don't know if you've been following a whole lot, but there's been like a whole problem going on with getting falsely copyrighted for works that are supposed to be free to use, but some people are jerks, or not really jerks, but just more like don't know how the system works, and then they end up accidentally doing something, and now the system thinks that this remix is the original, and it gets more difficult to make sure that everything's correct, but oh well. But not much I can do about that now besides like figuring out where all the copyright landmines are and remove them before they happen again. Hey, remember those Undertale Deltarune streams I did recently? Well, a benefit of that is that I can actually see what songs are affected by this copyright issue. So that way, whenever I want to play them at all, I have to think about it. I get a nice list here. Ah, wonderful. All according to plan. Anyways, back to on topic. I'm done with that tangent, moving on a little bit. So, time goes on, and I'm still in a really depressive state. I'm like, I'm not really good at this. I'm actually really bad, or something like that. And eventually, I just needed to make something in order to get out of that weird depressive state. And then I made the Picayune Dreams video. Yeah, that's kind of why I made this in the first place. I honestly really liked it. I think it's one of my best edited videos so far. Although, going forward, I just kind of figured out different ways to, I guess, do some of these projects very similar. Yeah, whatever. I had a good time doing that. I even did like a little bit of voice acting in there. And I think I did a pretty good job.
This is so fun.
I'm not having fun. How many times do you think you've died, Sal? 5, 10, 50, 100? Surely you lost count. 124 times. Let's make it 125 times, shall we? How many times are you gonna get stuck here, Sal? Over and over again, give in and join us. I'll join spinning corn chip and weird floating face before I join your lame one.
I really like your upgrade, Sal.
Thank you.
I bet if I had your suit, I would pick the worst upgrades. I probably wouldn't even make it this far.
148 trips into the void of space, Sal. You're keeping count?
Not much else to do out here, is there?
Well, I'm glad to keep you entertained for forever and ever, right? And, well, that's all good and all, but then, something I didn't know would actually happen, actually did happen. I started streaming. My initial thought was, I might want to get into streaming just so I can at least, like, start it out. I'm going to stream, like, one game, the Picayune Dreams, try to finish up the game, try to get a no-hit run, because that's been a thing that I've been working on the entire time that I've been working on the video. And then only when I did the stream, I actually got it done. I actually did the no-hit run without that much relatively effort, although I was happy that I was able to get it. So that's wonderful. The funny thing, though, I think only like one person was watching. Probably no one was watching, actually, now that I think about it. I don't think anyone was actually watching during that specific instance. It was only like a few 30 minutes after the fact I did it, that anyone actually tuned in to watch me, and then I was just talking about the game for the rest of the time. I thought I'd be like at it for a lot longer, but no. Anyways, that was kind of a good start to streaming. Going on, I was like, man, I really do need to stream a bit more, mostly just for practice. What should I do? I have an idea. I should play Satisfactory again, because I've been thinking about doing a second season of Satisfactory for a very long time, although I wanted to do something a bit different than just having an episodic series on the channel. So, I ended up doing a streaming for it. Just basically streaming myself playing Satisfactory. That was the idea behind it, and I'm still doing that today, because I have a plan. A plan to end all plans, to rid myself of the addiction that is Satisfactory, to over-optimize literally everything. And in order to actually reach that point, I'm going to be reaching 60 items a minute of all of the Phase 5 items. Nuclear pasta, chemical biochemical sculptors, and AI expansion servers, as well as ballistic warp drives. Okay, that's going to be kind of crazy. And... okay, funny thing, I did a bunch of calculations on actually doing these. The nuclear pasta is actually, like, relatively close to done. I just need to get these things called fused frames completed, and then I throw a bunch of these radio units that I've already made in one of my streams, combine those together, and then I get pressure cubes. And then the fun begins, where I go around and find as much copper powder as possible, and throw them all into these pressure cubes at Mach light speeds, or something like that. I don't know how exactly particle accelerators work in this aspect, but anyways, put them in a particle accelerator, copper powder flies at the speed of light, collides into each other, boom! Nuclear pasta. The crust of neutron stars in this cube. I'm trying to get 60 of these a minute. Well, at some point, I kind of realized how many resources I was actually using for the pasta alone, so I ended up taking a lot of time and actually calculating all of the rest of the resources required for the rest of the stuff. But then I found out warp drives are going to be a problem. Or, let's see, warp drives, as well as these things called superposition oscillators, which are like some weird quantum physics tech that allows for teleportation. Anyways, the problem is that these things need dark matter crystals. Advanced, I know, quite advanced. Well, here's the non-advanced thing. I need diamonds for it. Synthetic diamonds, because there's no diamonds obtainable here. How do you get synthetic diamonds? You crush coal. A lot of coal. Like, way too much coal. And then I did the calculations again. I needed 24,000 coal per minute in order to even make enough dark matter crystals to make all of the parts that I need to reach that 60-minute limit that I want to reach. That's not possible! Like, even if I took, like, all of the coal from literally the entire map, and then took every resource possible that I had access to, and converted all of it into coal, it would not be enough! None of it would be enough! So then, there's the problem. I no longer can complete the 60-minute limit that I wanted to reach. My dreams of reaching that multi-power scaling limit, ruined. Crushed to bits. Impossible now. Literally impossible. Wait a second. I just had an idea. Stupid idea, but it kind of... okay, I'm gonna say it and you get to be the judge of it. I'm gonna use biomass as my coal substitute. There is a recipe in the game where you can turn biomass into coal. Well, I'm going to stockpile as much biomass as possible to make as much coal as possible in order to have just enough coal for one instance, one time, probably a couple months from now, 3 months from now, exactly 3 months from this very instant, once the video is uploaded, exactly then. And only then will there be one shot of that 60-minute item cap for 20 minutes. Probably. Not certain if that's going to happen. Although, this is basically me stockpiling, which I could realistically do that for like any of the items and then stockpile enough to get the machines ready and then, oh, it's done. I have 60 a minute, right? For like 20 minutes, it's complete now, right? No, I kind of don't like that exactly. Although, to kind of limit myself a bit, I'm going to be only collecting as much plants as possible, turn that into biomass, but also collect as many alien remains as possible. Because, one remains can make 1 protein. 1 protein can make 100 biomass. And then, I think, like, what was it, like 30 biomass becomes some amount of coal? I forgot the exact numbers, whatever. But the plan is, over the course of the next several months, I will be stockpiling as much biomass as I can physically store in a storage system that is near my main base. Turning every blade of grass, every shard of wood, every mushroom in the entire world, all of the remains from any alien that I have killed in my mini crusades to conquer the world. I will power my diamond creation machine with their guts. A little bit morbid, but oh, whatever. So I'm going to be only doing that specifically for making the diamonds for like one huge shot of making as many diamonds as possible, and then back to stockpiling. At that point, I hope I got my numbers right. Funny enough, I was thinking about how I would do this more efficiently. I mean, I could just use a gun and go shoot all of them, but that takes time. Time of which I could be spent getting more alien guts. Also, for reference, I need like 300 a minute in order to keep up the coal count. That's a lot of aliens I need to kill per minute. So, I need to be more efficient. How do you be more efficient at the killing in this game? Nukes. Problem. I have encountered an issue. Nukes get rid of foliage. And as in like completely delete it, making it unharvestable. But I need to harvest everything, so I need to harvest all of the plant life in the entire world. And then all of the living life in the entire world. You know, being eco-friendly here. Deforesting everything first in order to use it all to the fullest benefit. And then nuking it all. This is all only in Satisfactory. I won't do this normally. Oh, we lie. No, I won't. This is just in Satisfactory. It's for the bit, and it's only for like the diamond creation process. Every other process that I will be doing will be as automated as possible. It's literally impossible to do the 24,000 coal a minute that I require in order to get the diamonds needed to make the warp drives a minute. So this is the only exception I'm going to make to my rules. What rules? Oh yeah, to make sure that the entire thing can be automated for like ever. As in, I need to make sure that all of the production methods that I want to use actually guarantee 60 of a specific item per minute. Or at least more than that. I must exceed that metric. So, that is plans with Satisfactory going forward when it comes to streaming a whole lot. So, look out for that. I'll be streaming at least 2 times a week. Oh yeah, that's been another thing I've been trying to figure out is like a streaming schedule for me, but as well as my audience. As much as I'd like to stream like literally every day, I don't think I really can stream every day. Also, I'm pretty sure not everybody would watch every single minute of me doing a lot of stuff. So, bit of a compromise. I'm just going to be doing streaming stuff for like really big builds, and outside of the streams I'm going to be planning for future stuff as well as making future videos. I want to have time to be able to make those future videos, make sure that stuff gets recorded, and I have days for that as well as days where I'm not doing anything so that I can like recover and relax, because that's apparently been a requirement for me to do stuff, is relaxing. So I need to make sure I'm able to account for relaxation. I also need to have time to do life things, like going out and seeing a movie. Oh, cool thing. Me and my family actually recently went to go watch a movie called The Wild Robot. That was good. We haven't seen a movie in so long, because like COVID made movies bad. Well, not really like COVID made movies bad, it's just movies were bad during the COVID era, and we haven't went to go see a movie in a long time. But we finally did, and we loved it. Loved it a lot. All that to say, streaming schedule, basically I'm going to try and do Satisfactory 2 or 3 times a week. I kind of already do this anyway whenever I announce anything, like on my community posts that I try to do every beginning of the week. But I'm going to try to be keeping up with that and very much focus on doing specific stuff and trying to limit myself and not do go beyond 3 hours, hopefully. Because I need to make sure I have time to also eat. Because if I'm not careful, I could be stuck there for like ever. And I know for a fact not everybody wants to watch that forever. We're only there for like maybe 3 hours or so, and we're just there to just kind of talk and have a good time. That's basically it. That's the idea behind the streaming stuff. Other than that, I'm also trying to do for Friday and Saturday different games besides Satisfactory. One of which, that was surprisingly good, was playing Deltarune again. Which, this is odd, like very odd. Throughout the live stream, it's kind of hard to actually see because I didn't actually record the chat feed. But there was like a lot of roleplay accounts on there, like a bunch of a bunch of people were cosplaying as characters from Deltarune or Undertale or like other games as well. And they were just in my chat and we were just chatting there. That was crazy and exciting. That stream went on for 6 hours. Very fun, very exciting, loved it a lot. Then we continued on and we went into chapter 2. And oh boy, I really liked trying to voice Queen. That was another thing I wanted to do the Deltarune streams for. Actually, it was kind of a threefold reason. 1, for streaming reasons, so that I get better at streaming. 2, to record gameplay for both Deltarune and Undertale. That was the main reason why I wanted to do those in the first place. But also, voice them all. That was the another thing. I want to actually go, or like get into being a voice actor. I need to make sure that I actually have like a successful job in that, but I think I can do pretty good.
Hey, Noelle. Hi. Hey, how you doing? Oh, Chris, what are you...
Oh, Noelle, sweetie!
Oh, shoot. Don't let her find me. Oh, Noelle, darling, sweetie, honey, where are you?
We're a team now, remember?
You still have to be my willing minion. Oh, Chris. It appears our comrades have pressed the escape key on us. So it has come to this. In order to find our teams, we must form an uneasy truce.
Oh, Queen, my splendid Queen, where are you?
Oh, no, don't let him find me. Oh my.
Ah, Chris, not the life form I was looking for. Where's the rest of the C+ squad?
Don't tell me you got abandoned. That's what you get for trusting Susie.
Huh? Noelle? Queen? They're just busy, retro gaming somewhere. I bet they're waiting for me at the player select screen. Listen to strangely groovy music. Sigh. So it comes to this. In order to find our respective teams, it appears we must form an uneasy truce. What? Who the bleep soldier you can double truces? Wait, huh? Did you hear something? Honk, 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 honk. That's just the sound of the city. Oh, okay. Well, I'll be going ahead. Don't be late. Chris, as a part of our truce, the better one, keep distracting Birdley and find Noelle. For you see, Birdley, he's... okay, there's nothing really wrong about him, he's just annoying. Toodles!
Oh, Chris, if it's okay, got any room for another truce?
No triple truces.
Har har, very funny. Well, I'd rather take my chances with you than with her. Noelle joined the party.
Not sure how good that actually was. That was me trying to voice like the Queen character from Deltarune, but like throwing it in my own way. I need to really look into that more. I want to actually become a voice actor. For that to actually work, I need to actually get into acting, so I need to get better at that. I think I do okay at the moment in terms of like the funny voice part of it, but the acting section I still need to work on. And that's what I want to do for the foreseeable future so I can get into it. Hopefully a job or a gig in voice acting. I'll need to look into that. In other news, talking a bit more about Deltarune. Supposedly, Chapter 3 is going to come out eventually, as well as Chapter 4. I've been very iffy on when they'll actually be releasing that stuff, although according to a September newsletter post by Toby and his team, they kind of talk about how Chapter 3 is practically done, they just need to go through a couple changes to make sure everything's completed. But also, Chapter 4 is like getting worked on and is kind of close to getting done, they still need to actually work on it though. So, after hearing that, I'm like, okay, that's pretty cool and all, but will it come out? Actually, when will it come out? And I was overanalyzing, and I decided that, actually thinking about it with like the checks and double checks they're going to be doing, it might be best for them to not have it released by Halloween, because even though I know that's Deltarune's release date and whatnot, and that's like the anniversary, but like with the amount of checks and balancing that they need to do in order to make sure that Chapters 3 and 4 are in such a good condition as they could be, that's going to require a lot of testing. Like a lot of testing. And also they have a feature with a game engine called Game Maker, of which is not done currently, probably. It basically allows multiple games to be played within the same game launcher, something like that. I think that's what the feature is supposed to be. The idea is that they can have chapters 1, 2, 3, all the way through 7, all able to be independent of their own and can be modified without affecting any other chapter. Because, as it turns out, working with so many chapters that has so many choices within them that affect next chapters, it makes it for a very difficult way to balance getting everything to work properly. So they're basically working with Game Maker Studios in order to add in a new feature that allows them to actually do that. This is literally a whole new, brand new feature that Toby and Co. are working to make possible. And it's not done quite yet, to my knowledge. Also, according to one of his tweets where he mentioned that he's still working on it or trying to get that. I don't think like Toby specifically is trying to get it to work, but it's more like game makers trying to work with Toby and Gain in order to get that to work, I believe is the story. And I'm going to cut myself off for a brief moment because there's a brief update to this that I need to do. It's a quick addendum. On November 21st, Toby actually talked about there being a possibility for the feature to be, that I'm actually talking about here, to be implemented on the 25th of November. So, I'm probably wrong on this. There actually is a time when they're actually doing stuff. Currently, when I'm even making this recording specifically, it's like a couple days before they actually release the thing. So, I won't know how effective the feature actually is. But you might find out. Go investigate it for me. I don't know anything! Alright, back to business. Anyways, the idea that it'll probably take until next year became stronger and stronger, not just since this post, but also just kind of earlier in general. But mark my words, on the day that Chapter 3 and 4 finally come out, I will completely cancel all activities that day until I get it done. Like, I will be streaming the whole chapters to hell and back, making sure I get through everything, make sure I experience everything first. I want to actually start making theories again. Theories. Okay, that's another thing. Okay, finishing my thought. I want to get Chapter 3 done as soon as humanly possible. Mostly so that I don't get spoiled on it, because every time I go on YouTube, I accidentally find stuff that I didn't want to know. Thank you, YouTube. So, in order to prevent that, I'm going on a full-scale assault and diving headfirst into Deltarune, getting the chapters 3 and 4 done as soon as I can humanely possibly do it. As in, I need to make sure I actually have enough time for sleep, but I will be trying my damnedest to get it all done as fast as possible. That will be my 10-hour live stream, whenever that happens. Gosh, Okay, according to what I know, Toby says that combined, chapters 3 and 4 are going to take like they're going to be longer than chapters 1 and 2 combined as well. So going off of that, it might actually take a bit longer than I would expect, so I might need to make sure that I need to plan for specific break periods in order to do that. Maybe I need to make sure that every 3 to 4 hours I actually just take a break and actually go on and do some of this stuff. Alright, I'm going off of a major tangent. Anyways, on Deltarune theories. I made a canonical timeline theory. And the idea with that is to try and figure out what the canonical timeline of Deltarune is. Idea behind it is what happens to the main character, Chris, and his friends, Susie and Rouse. What happens to them normally without the player's input? This has been a question that I've been trying to figure out ever since... Well, I kind of go over it, but basically there was like a theory video that went over ideas for this, and I wanted to get into it a lot more. And that's going to be my focus whenever Chapter 3 and 4 come out. I want to figure that question out, as difficult as it may be. Until then, I don't think I'm going to be doing too much scripting-wise or theory video-wise until like more information comes out. I mean, the most that I could probably do at the moment is do some research on Chapters 1 and 2 to figure out like what could be canonical things. But it's kind of gotten to a point where we need new chapters in order to get new information on this. So, oh well. Now, Undertale, I kind of want to mention that a bit. I haven't actually played it in like a good number of years, so it was kind of nice that I was able to play it again. Went through, did the Pacifist route, and then I did the No Mercy route. Both, honestly, were kind of good. Except the No Mercy route. Idea behind it is it's a route to go on and kind of do stuff with. I think there was a couple funny moments that came from it. But the whole route specifically was meant to just be as, like, boring as possible. And it worked. Eventually I got to Sans and I beat Sans, which was kind of good. It took a while, but I was able to do it. And by the end of that, I was just like, ugh, I'm so tired from doing this. This is dumb. Yeah, whatever. Moving on. A little bit more of a serious note. The only thing that you have to gain out of this route is saying that you beat Sans. Once you do that, then that's kind of it. Bragging rights are acquired, that's like nothing else to do. Or, you know, you can go further and go kill Asgore, kill Flowey, and destroy the world if you want. But, kind of, okay, weird situation in that instance. Because, like, nearing the end of that, I just kind of, like, I don't know, it felt weird, like, very different. Like, the whole Sans fight that I just went through, I got done with it, and I didn't celebrate it at all, because I knew I would do it eventually, it just took a while to do it. And I think by that time, I just kind of didn't care anymore, and I just went through with it. And a part of me actually was okay with the whole destroying the world part of pressing that yes button at the very end. And part of me was perfectly fine doing that, because that's been a weird situation or a question I've been going through a lot. And I never really, I guess, realized that I questioned that much until that one moment there at the very end of the Undertale stream. This thought process, it goes back all the way to when I played Slay the Princess. That was an interesting game. It was more of like a multiple choice. Your choices matter. You gotta save the princess, but you also have to slay her for some reason. It's your choice to figure out what to do with it. Well, eventually I got to a ending, and there's an argument to helping the princess and getting out, but eventually ended up doing the Slay the Princess part of the game, because, to my understanding, the other option was to do the entire game all over again, and find different endings and hopefully find a way out of this without killing her. That's one option. But, like, I think at that time I just got kind of sick of this, like, fake game that the princess was playing. And my final thought process was, well, if this loops again, we're just going to be here again and again and again and again. I don't know if this is going to go any better. I just want to leave and get on with my life. Did the whole slaying the princess part of the game, and then what opened up was a new dawn, or something like that. It was supposed to be a metaphor for, like, opening up to life because you technically killed death or something like that, so you're now immortal, infinite bliss or something. I want to make a Minecraft movie off of that thought process at some point. Either a Minecraft movie or make a whole video about Slay the Princess itself, and, like, me voicing all of the characters in there. Oh, that's another thing I want to do someday. Specifically for Slay the Princess is, like, go through, or, like, recount my time doing everything and kind of going through my thought process as to why I made that decision at the end. But that decision came up again when it came to the end of the No Mercy route in Undertale. And this is going to sound kind of weird, but the Flowey at the very end popping out, saying, "No, please don't kill me. Pretty please with a cherry on top. Look, I'll even take the face of Azrael. Don't kill me, pretty please." What felt weird was that I wasn't skipping any text. He was just, like, pleading for his life or something, which, I mean, does make sense. But it felt weird because I wasn't interacting with him at all. He was just doing stuff on his own. And it felt like that he was different from me in that aspect, because every time up until then, they would only talk whenever I said, "Alright, you're done talking with that text bubble. On to the next bubble." This time it felt really different. Like, it actually felt like I was killing something I liked. Which is weird to say, because, like, throughout the entire No Mercy route, I kind of been killing a lot of memorable favorite characters, Papyrus included. But I only really changed my mind after killing Flowey, which felt weird. Now, I know at the end, like, there was the whole jump scare screen thing. Wanted to try and get footage for that, because that's just me. It didn't work out like that. But, I ended up not erasing the world. The initial idea was, I will destroy everything. That's it. I'm done with this world. I'm going to move on to the next. But then something, I guess, or a question came over me. Is that seriously it? Well, yeah, you've seen everything, actually. It's been several years, and you've seen a bunch of different footage. You kind of know every situation. You don't really need to go through it all again. Yeah, but did I go through that, like, myself? What are you getting at? Like, I may know about it, but why don't I just experience it myself? if time doesn't really matter in that aspect, and like I can do these things in its entirety over time, why don't I just do it? Because destroying the world ends up meaning that I won't be able to experience that anymore. Like, I'll never get to experience like any good or any bad. That's just it. It'll just be a soulless experience. Why should I destroy the world then? Because there's nothing left, actually. You've done everything, that's it. I don't think so. I think there's something I'm missing. I'm gonna be missing out on some experiences that I would have normally. I'm not going to destroy the world just yet. Just yet? What do you mean just yet? I have no doubt that one day it'll just happen. But that's not today. At least I have a choice of when it ends. Alright then. Your choice. But when that day comes, I'll be there. Right, that was weird. Anyways, all that kind of segue into what I'm going to be doing for streaming later. I do want to play some other things besides Undertale and Deltarune, because I feel like it's going to, like, engulf me in its ability to pair the Deltarune game. I know it's going to happen at some point. I might as well spend some time right now, play some other games first before Armageddon arrives. Every week I want to try and play a different game. Like on the Friday-Saturday sessions, at least. One game that I wanted to check out was a game called Stars in Time, which I was watching a video that was going over like an Undertale Deltarune theory, and the host for that video mentioned, hey, there's this game called Stars in Time that talks about getting stuck in a time loop and the psychological effects that it has on people. And I was like, wait, what? This is a game? Hold on, I want to look into this. And then I looked into it, and it kind of seems like something I might be interested in. Kind of funny thing. Pop. I'm now black and white. Which kind of fits for what the look of the game actually is, because the entire thing is in black and white. That's another thing I want to actually do for fun, is like adjust my character to fit the style. And then kind of go back whenever I kind of feel like it. I also want to, you know, play games that I haven't like played like crazy for years anyway. Deltarune, ULTRAKILL, Undertale, all of those games I have technically played before. And I kind of want to stream Slay the Princess just for the sake of doing it, but I mean, I've already done that. So, next chapter I'm going to be forcing myself through is playing games that I've never played before. Like, actually never played before. Don't have any information on them, playing them blind. Because, like, I mean, that's way more exciting, really. I mean, with the Undertale Deltarune streams, I think it was still somewhat interesting because I was playing the game again and voicing everything, and that was fun. I had a lot of fun with that. There was a little bit of novelty to that. However, time goes on, and now I don't have a game to replay. Kinda. I could, like, actually replay almost every game that I've played before, or I could play something that I've never played before. Other games I might want to think about streaming. One of them was actually a Deltarune mod. I know a lot of people have been, like, suggesting Undertale Yellow. I might put that on the back burner, because it seems like something that might be interesting. But, Delta Traveler. I'm going to be playing Delta Traveler first. I'm going to do that one first, and then figuring out what I want to do from there. I might play Undertale Yellow. I'm still iffy on that. Says I, the guy that didn't do Undertale Yellow just yet, but the guy in the future who is also me, who looks fairly different from me for some reason, has played Undertale Yellow. Hey, how was it, Dean? It was good? Yeah, well. Alright, I can't wait to experience it myself then. Whenever that happens. See, one thing that I have that is a slight issue of mine, I can think years in advance on what stuff that I want to do so I can like set stuff up now so they can get better by that time in those many years. But I don't know what I'm doing next week. I might be able to plan like the next 2 weeks ahead, but realistically I don't even know what's going to happen next week. Kinda. I do, but not really. To some extent. In other news, other videos that I want to kind of do. I kind of mentioned earlier that I wanted to do at least something for the Miracle Musical Hawaii Part 2 anniversary that's coming up on December 12th. I want to do something for that. I'm still arguing with myself if I want to do like an animation on murders or an overanalysis of Mind Electric, but I kind of want to do something. I'm going to force myself to do something, whatever that ends up being. Other videos, I'm not sure if I'm going to get any more videos out this year besides like those ones. I do have plans on what I want to do next year, you know, because I think years in advance. And that's going to be making Minecraft movies. I'm kind of hoping that by that time I actually get done with Satisfactory to a satisfactory degree and get into Minecraft some more, so I could put a lot more focus back into Minecraft. Because like I have taken like a massive year-long break, 2 years, I think, from like seriously playing Minecraft, and I think I really needed that break, but I want to get back into it. There are some things that I want to get done there. It's for other reasons besides just getting them done, but I want to get them done. So I really need to make sure that I plan out everything in Satisfactory so I can get things done in a very efficient manner so that I can get on to getting into Minecraft a lot quicker. And then once I focus onto Minecraft significantly, then I'll get into making Minecraft movies. That's one plan that I got. If you've been following me for a while, you know that there's a series that I've been wanting to do called the Delta Chronicles. I've been wanting to do that for a while. Even, you know, make a second entry to it. That'd be nice. That's gonna be first. I also want to get into becoming a voice actor, kind of mentioned that way earlier in the video, but that's just a fundamental thing that I want to get into eventually. I want to do it very much. So going back to like what I said near the end of the hour long of me talking about my life video, where this year's going to be very interesting, or was that like a different state of Dean? I can't quite remember, but I think this year's gotten a lot more interesting than I could even imagined at that time. And by that metric, I have no idea what's going to be happening in the coming months. A lot of changes. A lot of changes. Worrisome ones, kind of, maybe, but oh well. I think I'll make it through. So, I think that's just going to end the State of Dean video. Thank you all very much so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed it at least some amounts. And you all, have a good night. Bye, everybody.